Hello everybody, welcome to the Sweet Source Canada YouTube channel. My name is Tristan and today we're changing the spark plugs on this 2000 Saab 9.3. Let's get right to it. Alright, so before we begin, I'm just going to preface by saying I'm going to go ahead and use some copper plugs. These will do the job just as well, if not even better, some say, as the stock platinum plugs that come in these cars. And that is, people just say the copper just burns better generally and sparks better, which is fundamentally true. Copper is a better conductor than platinum, but all spark plugs have pretty much a copper core because that's one of the cheapest metals that also conducts one of the best. So it's just really the tip that's going to be different on spark plugs. We can have a whole video talking about spark plugs, but just in this case I'll keep it brief. Your stock plugs that go in the Vigan are going to be some platinum plugs, but we're going to go ahead and run some coppers, and they are BCPR 7ESs, and these are resistor plugs that are meant to go with a direct ignition cassette. Of course, if you have a Saab 9000 or 900 that does not have a DIC, you're going to want to run non-resistor plugs, which are going to be probably BCP 7ESs or 6ESs or EVs if you have your hands on those. So let's get right into it. It's a very simple procedure and I'll walk you through every step of the way. So step one is going to be to remove the direct ignition cassette. Now of course I do have a video showcasing that, but we'll do it here. So down here you got a connector. Go ahead and pull out the red tab. What I normally do is I just go ahead and press the two little tabs here, and then I go ahead with my fingers and grab the rest of the clip out. You don't need to use a screwdriver or nothing, and that will come out easily. Put it to the side, and then we're going to undo the 4 T30 Torx screws on top. Now spark plugs are best replaced on an engine that is cool to the touch, not too hot. Of course, if you just drive it 30 minutes, it's going to be way too hot. You want the engine to be either cold or you want it to be warm. Like I just drove this into my driveway, so it's just a bit warm to the touch and just not really hot or anything. So this is okay. But you don't want to be doing spark plugs on a hot engine that's run many cycles throughout the day, 30-40 minute drives, hopefully not more than 2 to 5 minutes. Engine won't get too hot and you'll be okay to do it. Or of course, ideally, an engine that's been sitting overnight and it's cool to the touch. So you pull up the DIC and store this upwards and put it to the side. Once the DIC has been lifted out of the car, you could see our 4 spark plugs are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, even numbered into the cylinder head. So that's where we're gonna have to crack them open, or rather crack them loose with a 16mm deep socket. You could use a spark plug socket if you want. I just always use a regular one because you can just go in here and grab these by hand, so it's not really a big deal. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll walk you guys through that as well. So grab yourself a long 16mm socket with an extension, then go right in there, and these should not be hard to crack loose. Should be nice and smooth. We don't need to crack them all the way loose, but just enough where I can go ahead and unthread these by hand. So once that's done, we're going to prepare our 4 spark plugs, gap them and put some dielectric grease / silicone grease on the ceramic part of it. So let's get to that. So let's begin on these. So I'll just show you guys how I do one of them, and then we'll get to the other ones. Now if you want to, you can number these boxes 1, 2, 3, 4 and then put back your spark plugs if you really want to examine the condition of your cylinders. For me in this case, I don't really mind doing that, so I'm just going to just put these in as is. So first of all, you want to take out your spark plug, remove the cardboard protector, and here's your spark plug. And on these threads, we're not going to put any sort of anti-seize or lubricant or oil. Saab do say in the manual you could put a touch of motor oil, but that's more for the older B202 engines. On these, you can see the shiny coating. That is an actual coating that helps this not seize into your engine. So I like to leave those as is. And then we're going to measure the gap. The spec on these cars is just about 0.9 to 1 millimeter. So I usually use a coin tool like this. I don't like the ones where you kind of rub them like this, and it has a gradient pattern, and you rub them because it could wear out the tip of the plug. You want to use something like a feeler gauge too, that's safe to use, or one of these, which have these little picks in there that have different depths. So we're going to go ahead and use this one here. I do want to do a more in-depth spark plug video one day, but this is just a general replacement. So we're going to go here and we're going to start by measuring. So we know these are in millimeters right here, and we know our spec is just about 0.9. So I'm going to go based off of this one here. So 0.89 to 1. The 0.89 should fit, but be a very tight fit, and the 1 should not fit. So let's just start right out of the box and measure this. So 0.89 here, and you could see it actually hardly fits. So we might have to widen this gap just a touch. So go ahead and insert this part of the tool in the spark plug and just go ahead and gently pull it up. Go little by little, because when you bend these too much, then these could break, so you want to be very careful. That's also a good way of spotting a fake NGK plug to a genuine one, because they're very easy to break, the fake ones. So grab your 0.89, and that slides in a lot better. So I'm going to leave that as is. So that to me is well gapped. That's probably about 0.9, so I'm happy with that. And then we're going to go ahead and grease this right here. So we're going to go ahead and grease the ceramic part. So grab yourself some silicone grease, some dielectric grease, and then go ahead and just put a little bit right on here. Nothing crazy. And that plug is pretty much good to go. This grease will help insulate the plug so that the spark is more direct, and you can put that to the side. Now, if you also bought pre-gap plugs, still make sure you check the gap on those, because you don't want to have a situation where maybe this was dropped in shipping or something and it hit the electrode, and that could obviously cause it to have a different gap than what you bought. So make sure you always check your gaps, even if they are pre-gapped or someone gapped them before you. Always make sure. You don't want to take these plugs out again, because they do have a one-time use crush washer. So you want to make sure that you're doing it right the first time. So I'll do all the rest of them, then we'll get back to the engine. But one more thing I forgot to mention, if you do have to close a gap, you can either tap it on a surface like this, or you can grab your tool and just grab it the other way around like this, and then pull it downwards like this. In this case, spark plug number 2 has been gapped correctly. All right, so all 4 plugs have been gapped and greased sufficiently, and make sure you do that properly. Take your time, make sure they're gapped properly. The performance of your engine depends on it. Your fuel economy, the performance, power delivery, smoothness, all depends on a good spark plug gap. Now, normally when there's a spec like 0.9 to 1, I like to go on the lower end, so that as it wears, that electrode is gonna space itself more, and you're going to want to make sure you're on that lower end of the spec, in my opinion. But you can go ahead, keep it within the spec, but I like to go on the lower end of the spec so that there's a room for the electrode to expand, which is normal over time. So let's go ahead and pull these spark plugs out. Start with number 1, and then I like to immediately put the new one in. So let's go ahead and undo all these, and now we can undo them by hand. I like to leave them in there just so they cover the holes, so nothing falls in. If this is all really dirty in here, you could go ahead and clean it. Mine looks pretty clean, so I'm not too worried. There's a few little pieces of debris, but nothing scary. So once these are all loose in there, you can go ahead and grab them out by hand and put in the new ones. Carefully place them in. You do not want to hit that electrode and ruin your gap. So don't just drop them in there. Make sure you put them in nice and smoothly like that. Let's grab our other ones out. So once that's done, go ahead and grab your socket, and you're going to want to put these in by hand. Make sure it threads nice and smooth. So you see here, thread nice and smooth. If you for whatever reason you feel like it's not going in smoothly, undo them and put them back in properly. Now I'm going to thread these in as much as I can by hand, and then we're going to make sure to tighten these 2 spec, and not more or nor less. 2 spec. As you can see, one of them came out really easily. I think number 2 came out really easily. That's probably because someone didn't use a torque wrench when they changed these. I'm happy to report though that the plugs do look good. I'll show you guys that afterwards. And it looks like they use proper NGK plugs for this engine, just a different heat rating. So once those are all in, we're going to grab our torque wrench and do the final tightening. Alright, so the torque spec on these is 21 foot-pounds, or about 28.5 Newton meters. So go ahead and set your torque wrenches out if it's well calibrated. Make sure your torque wrench is well calibrated. Of course, hold the torque wrench at the handle and tighten until it clicks. And that's one. You could double check your torque. There we go. And let's keep going one by one. And you're going to feel it get hard at the end. It's because you are actually crushing that crush washer. Those are all torqued properly to spec. Let's get our DIC back in here. DIC is floating back in. You can also apply a little bit of dielectric grease to the ends, but we've already got some on the spark plugs, so that's fine. That just slide on nice and easy. Let's go ahead and plug in the connector. It just goes on, and then you press the tab in until it clicks. And then we're gonna go ahead and grab our T30 and put these screws in. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did find my copper anti-seize, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some on these bolts. I do find that's a good step to take because I've seen these snap before in the valve cover, and that's not really fun. I've extracted one out of this one here. As you can see, I damaged the paint on the DIC. Maybe I should have taken out the DIC completely. Or I believe even the head was all stripped maybe. But I have extracted these, and it's not the funnest thing to do. So a little bit of anti-seize goes a long way, and that's all you need. It's going to spread itself in the threads. Now make sure you hold the DIC down. I'm going to actually go by hand first and tighten down these screws. The torque on these is very low as well. I think it's like super low, like 8 Newton meters or something like that. I'm not going to torque these down. I'm just going to go by hand. Tighten them until they're a bit snug, and that's all you need. And that is complete. Remember, with anti-seize, it's going to be a lot easier to strip these, so just be careful, tighten them snug, and that ain't going anywhere. Make sure when you're done using your torque wrench, go ahead and take off the load off the torque wrench. I'm going to do it off camera. But here are our spark plugs. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see, first of all, they use the correct spark plug, which is PFR 7H10. We're able to get them at Saab dealers before, and they're a higher temperature rating. They're colder spark plugs, so that if you run your car harder, they won't foul. So you got colder spark plugs, which is good. And yeah, this is number 2. As you can see, they're actually in quite in good shape. There's nothing really alarming. The tips look good. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining. These look like normal spark plugs. Everything looks healthy. There's not a whole lot of oiling on there. They look actually very good. I'm gonna also say too, the 7 is that colder spark plug, but factory these actually take 6H10s. They don't sell the 7H10s anymore, so 6H10 became the standard. So anyways, those replaced. The spark plugs do look very good. I'm really happy with that. They have a light tan color, which is normal, and not really anything alarming on those. So these fresh plugs are gonna be good, but these actually could have been gone for another 10-20,000 kilometers easily, if not more. So just a preventive maintenance thing, I guess, those copper plugs. So yeah, I'll go ahead and show you guys a nice smooth Vigan engine. That is one happy Vigan. Anyways, everyone, if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and hit a like and subscribe, and you can comment down below as well. I hope this was really helpful to you guys, and have yourselves a great day. Goodbye.